Oh, the horror. The stuff.
He will take the tenth of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants. And ye shall cry out in that day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen you. And the Lord will not hear you in that day. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel. And they said, Nay, but we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us, and go out before us, and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of the Lord. And the Lord said to Samuel, Hearken unto their voice, and make them a king. 1 Samuel chapter 8, verses 17 through 22, KJV.
The Stuff, directed by Larry Cohen, was released in the United States on June 14, 1985. Stars Michael Moriarty of Law and Order fame, who plays a private detective investigating the mysterious events surrounding a newly released yogurt-like treat that's delicious and has strange effects on all that consume it. Marketed as the newest dessert sensation, unbeknownst to consumers, is actually made from goo that oozes from the earth, and as the detective soon discovers, it rots you on the inside, turning you into zombie-like creatures who only want to consume more of the strange substance at any cost. One of the reasons I included this movie as part of our this season's Oh, the Horror is because it's not just a horror film, but it speaks to the power of advertising and consumerism, a metaphorical representation, if you will, of the dangers of blindly following trends and consuming products without question. The deeper meaning here is that we so want to fit in, be like everyone else, to the point where we don't care if the thing we're consuming, using, following is harmful to us, whether psychologically, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. We just don't want to be seen as different. Some such recent examples would be our obsession with cell phones, the COVID vaccines, and now, yes, AI. But the biblical truth about this obsession is, it's how we were wired. We were made for worship, for following something. However, what we were wired to follow, to worship, was God, the Father. Psalms chapter 86, verses 6 through 9. Give ear, O Lord, unto my prayer, and attend to the voice of my supplications. In the day of my trouble I will call upon thee, for thou wilt answer me. Among the gods there is none like unto thee, O Lord, neither are there any works like unto thy works. All nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee, O Lord, and shall glorify thy name. Revelation chapter 4, verses 10 through 11. The 24 elders fall down before him that sat on the throne, and worship him that liveth forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. However, throughout the Bible, since Adam and Eve, and even with the temptation of Christ, the devil has taken that hard wiring for worshiping of God to the worshiping of idols. As in our anchor verses, it's the we want to be like other nations mentality. In the wilderness, the Israelites kept tempting God, constantly saying they wanted to go back to Egypt because they identified more with their captors than with their God. Stockholm Syndrome. A psychological response where a captive or abuse victim develops positive feelings, empathy, or loyalty towards their captor or abuser, viewing them as a protector rather than a threat, often as a subconscious coping mechanism to survive trauma, leading them to defend the abuser or resist rescue efforts. And it's seen in hostage situations, domestic abuse, and cults. The Israelites, although the behavior they exhibited was not identified medically as such back then, were poster children for this illness. We want the leeks in the onions, disavowing the milk and honey that lay before them. They had the hand of God supplying their every need, but they rather looked to man to supply them food. Everything God did for them, it was never enough. These other nations that the Israelites were often patterning themselves after worshiped everything from the elements to the animals. But God had made the Israelites to be a peculiar people, a royal priesthood, like a city set on a hill full of light. The Father was trying to make them as gods to the other nations, but we instead made them our subjects of worship instead of God. Exodus chapter 7, verse 1. And the Lord said unto Moses, See, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Remember the 1991 marketing campaign by Gatorade with the tagline, Be Like Mike, starring American professional basketball player Michael Jordan, created by advertising agency Bear Best Vanderwerker? The ad contained various clips of Jordan playing basketball with others in an indoor gymnasium, smiling and laughing while drinking Gatorade with them. Then, also featuring basketball star Michael Jordan, were the marketing campaigns with the tagline, Just Do It, for Nike. Michael Jordan, drafted in 1984, played for the Chicago Bulls from 1984 to 1993, winning 3 championships, and then again from 1995 to 1998, securing another 3 titles for a total of 13 seasons, leading the Bulls to dominance throughout the 90s. He was certainly a major household name, to say the least, and many wanted to pattern themselves after him. So the idea these campaigns were meant to create in consumers' minds was you too could be like Michael Jordan if you drink Gatorade and wear Nikes. When the reality of it was, you could drink Gatorade all day long every day and buy every shoe Jordan ever wore, and you would never be like Michael Jordan, because what made him who he was wasn't in shoes, nor was it to be found in any drink. Like the Israelites were so busy trying to be like somebody else instead of being what God put in us, his children, to be, to do. Then people, even Michael Jordan, will want to be like us as we become like Christ. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 17 through 18. Now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. But we all with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, and changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord. In taking a closer look at this film, you can see the similarities in the stuff and the devil. In the Bible, the devil was always catching man up by getting them to act on their desires, their flesh, often feeding on man's feelings of inadequacies. See, these are the things that are in Satan as well. He feels inadequate. He acts on his flesh. Remember, Jesus said the lust of your father, his children will do. Saul, once a nobody until God touched his life and made him king, hungered for attention, to be accepted. This is why once he finally had it, he wasn't willing to give it up, the people's worship. This is why he forgot about God and was always following what the people wanted. He wanted their worship like his father, the devil. Cain didn't like the fact that God gave respect to Abel, his brother, instead of him. So he killed Abel. God told Cain all he had to do was do well, but Cain turned to murder instead. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 2. A good man obtaineth favor of the Lord, but a man of wicked devices will he condemn. Amnon desired his half-sister Tamar and took her forcibly, and was murdered by her brother and Amnon's half-brother Absalom for it. Those in Sodom and Gomorrah desired the things of the flesh, and Lot witnessed their destruction by angels sent of God firsthand. James chapter 1, verses 13 through 15. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. In the film, the stuff, the devil, the goo, manipulated the people's constant need to feed their flesh, driving them to seek more and more of him, it, until they became ugly, ravenous, and rottenness. Rottenness, the state of being decayed, decomposed, or putrid, often with a foul smell like rotting food. But it also figuratively describes moral corruption, wickedness, or deep-seated evil within a person or system. It signifies a loss of soundness, integrity, or virtue, both physically and ethically, and, dare I add, spiritually. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 30. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones. Proverbs chapter 12, verses 3 through 4. A man shall not be established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous shall not be moved. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh ashamed is a rottenness in his bones. This is how advertising works. This is what is at the heart of consumerism. It's about all the things we have to have so that we can either be like everybody else or, again, play on our inadequacies, wanting to be better or dominate over someone else. Going back to cell phones, every year Apple comes out with a new iPhone. So what do people do? I have to have the latest one so that I can show it off to all my friends, when half the time they don't even know how to use the phone they have, besides selfies, calls, and texts. But every year Apple gets people to pay over $1,000 for these phones because one celebrity or the other is in their commercial. So it somehow means I get a little closer to being like them if I get the one they have. In actuality, it is all gluttonous. Gluttony. The Bible defines gluttony as excessive self-centered overindulgence in food, drink, or worldly pleasures, making them an idol, demonstrating a lack of self-control and trust in God, leading to spiritual destruction. It is a heart focused on earthly satisfaction, the belly, rather than God, manifesting as greed, preoccupation with delicacies, hasty eating, or using food to numb feelings rather than nourishing the body. Mentality. A person's established way of thinking, their characteristic attitude, or their overall mental disposition, encompassing beliefs, values, and habits that shape how they interpret and react to the world, often used interchangeably with mindset. This gluttonous mindset, where we see these things as idols, these things made of hands, the spirit behind it is the devil. It's laying the groundwork and the foundation so that he eventually gets you to turn your worship away from God and eventually giving it to him. Matthew chapter 4, verse 8 through 9. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Worship. A reverent honor and submission paid to God, expressed through both internal attitudes and outward actions like prayer, praise, and obedience. The original Hebrew and Greek words for worship often mean to bow down or to fall down before, signifying deep respect, homage, and a total respect of the heart, mind, and will to the worthiness of God. But Satan wanted that for himself, and Jesus wasn't having none of that. The devil wants to take the place of God in our lives, and he uses these things made of hands to pull us away from God and eventually to him. Isn't this what they speak about, what's coming in the last days? The mark in the forehead, the mark in the hand. Show me who you'll worship, me or your God. Isaiah chapter 14, verses 12 through 15. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Did you catch that? I will be like the Most High. What did Satan say to Eve? Genesis chapter 3, verses 4 through 6. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened. What did God say about us? Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 through 28. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them, and blessed them. As I said, feeding on our inadequacies. Satan feels inadequate when it comes to Jesus, when it comes to the children of God. He knows he can never be like us, made in the image of God, even though he says, I will be like the Most High. So when God proclaimed and made us such, it was giving us and making us what he could never have nor could ever be. So, since he can't be us or have what we have, he tries to make us lay it down, kill us, destroy us. I give you Cain, Joseph's brothers, the old prophet, the false prophets, the Sadducees, the Pharisees, the lawyers, the doctors, the politicians, the advertisers, etc. Come on now. I am trying to tell you what the plan is while you buying what all these people, commercials, the stuff is selling. And no, it is not just a movie. An ultimate end game is to send us to the very place he knows he will be for eternity. Revelation chapter 20, verses 1 through 15. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power. But they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about in the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven, and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. In essence, you better wake up, people. I pray ye be not deceived.